Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. We have a blue-red Delver mirror here at the top tables. Delver of Secrets from both players on turn 1 off of Basic Island. Tony able to daze and then reveal another daze, and that's exactly the type of cards you want in this matchup. Want to get early board presence and preserve it if possible. Best path to victory in my experience, type of mirror. Your opponent can just be on the back pedal the whole way. Back foot. A long way. Forward success. A daze now. Stopping Tony. Brainstorm. Both players' decks actually doing a very good job what they're designed to do. Slightly ahead here. Onto it mostly due to the mana base here. Tony just stuck on a single basic island. Assemble 3 pieces of mana. That's going to let him easily cast everything in his deck. Not able to answer this Delver. It will actually get there. We're something like 13 to 11. 3 hits from the Delver so far. And Lightning Bolt. This is everything right here. If this resolves, it's going to be a disaster. Spell Pierce. Now Force of Will. Force of Negation. Pitching Spell Snare. And that Lightning Bolt has resolved. Tony now absolutely in a huge hole, and he actually recognizing that just moves on to game number 2. Don't love the Spell Pierce play there. It may have been possible to Force of Will and have Dean just hard cast his Force of Negation. It may have been an error in that space, but it is a play that could reasonably be made, and that would have enabled that the Spell Pierce to actually counter Force of Negation. So just a little bit of potential food for thought on that situation. A lot of value gained by Spell Piercing there. Obviously going to pay the mana. Got plenty available. And it certainly was worth Force of Willing. That Delver needed to survive just a few more turns. 3, maybe 4. On how base him. Getting some comments actually on some other videos here. So thanks everyone who's been commenting on the videos. Life totals now, look at that. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better. Got a few people saying that the audio is a bit lower than they'd like. Sounds fine on full blast, but of course if they get a notification, knock them out of their chair. So how the audio sounds in the video. Alluded Delta being sacrificed for a Ponder, getting a Volcanic Island. Perhaps a sign of a very mana light hand, both blue and red. Also maybe a sign of a hand that is hoping to bait things like Wasteland, just because it has so many mana sources. It's actually difficult to figure that out, really depends on the player. Basic Island for Tony, and now another Ponder in this Volcanic Island. We see some creatures here Delver or Monastery Swift Spear, perhaps. Under, not good enough. Card off the top. There's the Delver. Uncontested. Daze right off the top. That's got to feel a little bad. Now Ponder. This matchup, really an interesting one. Now, there's a lot of moving pieces. Previously, I think Delver kind of got handled by a young Pyromancer. You can kind of win the race by going wide, but now Dreadhorde Arcanist is a 1/3, which can give you extra range and happens to be able to block both the young Pyromancer and the tokens. So it's a really interesting matchup now. There's a lot of ways it can play out. Nemesis. Very, very dangerous card in the matchup. But tapping out can also be dangerous. Fiery Islet. Often a one of right now. Lightning Bolt. On Dean's turn. Drawbacks of Force and Negation. Difficulty in Stifle, and that gets Spell Pierced. And now a huge series of plays here. So we've got a Wasteland targeting the Fiery Islet. Instead of Dean just drawing a card, he elects to Stifle. Now we've got Spell Pierce, a Lightning Bolt, and a Force of Will on the stack. The end of this, dust settles. Tony retains his 3/2 flyer. Dean is down his red source, down to 11. Now 8. That was quite a flurry of spells. Dean really in a bad spot. Very difficult to stabilize against Delver. You pretty much have to remove it. Another Stifle. These life totals very often don't matter at all. That is not the case in this type of matchup. A lot of times in Legacy, the life totals are almost irrelevant. Just kind of resources to be used. In this matchup, every point of life essentially matter. Brainstorm in response only uses a fetch land. Grabs a Volcanic Island. Pyroblast, Hydroblast back. What is this, 1995? Delver down to 2. Or Ponder. That's going to do it. Tony taken down. Game number 2. So both players' mana base is actually giving them a bit of a hard time. I would not expect that. The blue-red Delver deck is one of the more consistent mana bases. And we've got things floating around now. Running Arkham's Astrolabe. Bunch of basic lands. And playing 4 colors on super tight mana bases. Finding ways to fit Wastelands in on top of it. So a little bit of a surprise there for these blue-red Delver decks, game 1 and 2, to both be struggling with their mana. Now making sideboard adjustments. Daze, one of the cards that does actually vary somewhat significantly on the play or the draw. So I'd contend in matchups like this and Death and Taxes, where your opponent's actually casting their creatures, Daze is pretty reasonable. And on the draw. Asgard Army Recruiters just popped in the door there. We're not actually open today. I am at the shop doing the commentary for you guys. Volcanic Island and a Wasteland for Dean. Couple of polluted deltas for Tony. First one, Seeing Stifle. Second one, Fetching. Response. And it looks like that Stifle resolving. Delver of Secrets joining the board. Like it may be difficult to keep alive. Not sure if Tony just accidentally didn't flip his Delver. We saw Force of Negation. I'm not sure if he was showing it to. Likely means the guy's not going to be around for long. Probably would have lightning bolted there in response to the Ponder. Actually going to let the Ponder resolve. Force of Will, pitching Force of Negation, keeps the Delver around. Now begins to dig with Brainstorm. Fetching now. Delver really just functionally wants to play off of a land or two. Opposing a Wasteland to be used on your opposing mana base. Now Young Pyromancer. Deals Chain Lightning. 3 in the air. Chain Lightning clearing out this Young Pyromancer. Can Dean defend it? Not, or chooses not to. I believe he would have if he could have. Being able to counter that Chain Lightning on tempo. Creating a token. One of the ways to get back into it. Hydroblast. Taking out this Dreadhorde Arcanist now. Between the two, I prefer Tony's mana base here. Basic Island, basic Mountain. Oh, but not enough land. It looks like I've been gainsayed right there by the game state. Daze able to keep that Arcanist alive, and then a Spell Pierce keeping it alive the second time. Using some card drawing here. Spell Pierce and Daze. Interesting cards in the matchup. Very often function like hard counters unless you overcommit mana to the board, which can feel very bad a lot of the time. Have the option for Brainstorms, Ponders, and Preordains to be able to have just nothing but gas. In that case, it does mean that you're going to be more susceptible to those soft counters. Another Dreadhorde Arcanist. Now down to, I believe, 8 life. Fiery Islet being sacrificed to draw a card while tapped out. Dreadhorde Arcanist digging. Now, really just need to find a piece of removal here. Pair of cantrips being used. Just digging. There's the lightning bolt. That will likely do it. Delver of Secrets taken down by the bolt. Even if he had a counterspell, the Dreadhorde Arcanist would have allowed it to cast again the next turn. Looking like just not quite enough. Need to hold on. True Name Nemesis getting brushed aside by a Pyroblast. Time to have it. Storm now for Dean. He is absolutely in the driver's seat, getting 2 additional cards in hand if he wants it per turn off of this Dreadhorde Arcanist duo. And Ponder. Really better than just 2 cards per turn. 2 full-on cantrips, both Ponder and Brainstorm, giving you a tremendous amount of selection and now card advantage, as they're not actually just replacing themselves, but actually adding new cards to the hand. Really overstate how powerful that is compared to just cantripping. Ancestral Recall, much better card than Brainstorm. Wasteland here from behind. Young Pyromancer, not likely to be enough here. He has his own Young Pyromancer and now swinging with the team. Actually chump blocking. I didn't catch if he chump blocked or if Lightning Bolt was used there. I doubt he chump blocked. Probably a Lightning Bolt that I missed off of the graveyard. And Dean taking it down. Overwhelming advantage with those Dreadhorde Arcanists. And that is more along the lines of what Blue-Red Delver is looking for in the matchup. A little bit of stumbling in games 1 and 2 with the mana bases. But game 3, Dean really able to turn it on. Right, a massive advantage back of Dreadhorde Arcanist. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELV's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.